So Ireland have their team out, Simon Easterby, make some changes, and I thought they would make changes in this game. In my previous video about Ireland, I made the suggestions of the changes I would make, and they're pretty close here. Is it disrespectful to Wales to make all these changes? Well, mainly no, because I think there's injuries for one thing, and then players coming in for those swapped out are pretty strong, if not stronger. So yeah, it might make them a little disjointed, but I think it is a respectful team and a very strong team. And it's worth doing as well because Wales at the moment are, on paper, as in kind of feeling as well, the weakest team in the Six Nations. So I think it is worth doing, and I think it's a team that should win. Wales, however, will be fired up, I think. Obviously, they've got their new coach in there, some new players. We'll see what their selection's going to be. That's going to be fascinating, which is why I'm doing two separate videos. But let's go through this Ireland team. This video, once again, supported by Sports News Blitz. Let's go from the back here. Jamie Osborne coming in for Hugo Keenan. Now, of course, Hugo Keenan is first choice, so you'd say, is this weakening the team? And maybe a little, but Jamie Osborne has such amazing ability. Physically, a bit bigger than Hugo Keenan, and he's got all the skills. Of course, he can play centre, and you had to play him at some point. You need to develop that backup 15, and I think this guy is a world-class player in the making. If he has a massive game with his versatility, does he put himself in the Lions picture? Maybe. So big game for Osborne, and I expect big things from him. The wings, we've got Hansen coming back in, which I suggested if he was fit they should do because he's their first choice. He's a great all-rounder. And Nash got a little bit dominated physically maybe in the last game, although did a lot of great things as well. With Lowe, that's a really strong back three, even though changing out Hugo Keenan. More change around in the centres. Now we see Robbie Henshaw with Gary Ringrose. No Bundy Aki. I thought Aki might come back into it, but still, whatever way round you play these three, it's incredibly strong with different strengths and weaknesses. Maybe a bit more ball playing in this backline, a little less absolute bulk, but it's still a great backline. I suggested they should keep Sam Prendergast going at 10 to get that continuity into their new 10, who now is absolutely their first choice. So it's Gibson Park and Prendergast with Crowley coming on. Hopefully Crowley gets minutes at 10. I'm sure that is the plan. They've got 3 backs on the bench, so I'm pretty sure they'd be able to do that. Now we've got Andrew Porter, Dan Sheehan and Tom Clarkson in a slightly new look front row, but still crazy strong. Even though Kelleher's injured, Dan Sheehan is normally the better player and he's had his time to come back to fitness and he's the captain now, I think, as well, which is pretty cool for him. So he'll be fired up. Clarkson, I think, has got loads of ability and Beelam's not exactly set the world on fire, I don't think. So I think it's fine to swap those two and good depth building as well. I always thought Joe McCarthy would come back in, maybe on the bench, but they've put him straight in there, given a bench spot there for James Ryan. So it is McCarthy and Tadline, which probably is their strongest second row when they're fully fit. Back row wise, of course, we see Caelan Doris drop out, but Jack Conan is an amazing number 8, probably starting in every other team at the moment anyway. He's that good. So yes, you lose your captain, your talisman if you like, but I don't think you lose an awful lot on the pitch actually. Amani coming in there at 6, Van der Fleer and Conan incredibly strong, and then lots of excitement on the bench. I love the front row replacements. Gus McCarthy probably is the next hooker when Dan Sheehan and Kelleher finally hang up their boots, which could be a while to be fair, so he could be twiddling his thumbs for a while, but you need to get minutes into him. Very exciting. Boyle, they have to develop at loose head, so they've got him in there and you think he would get some decent minutes. Beelam, a good replacement. Ryan, we mentioned. Keane Prendergast, the other Prendergast brother, gets a role, which he needs to do because they need to build depth, particularly at open side, because they don't really have a lot. It was, Peter Amani switching to open side when needed. Josh Van der Fleer plays all the minutes pretty much. They need to get Prendergast on. I think if things are going well, he's going to come on at 7. And then Murray's your replacement 9, although I think Craig Casey had come back into the squad, but would have been a push to put him into the 23. So very reliable replacement. Crowley covering 10, also can cover 15 and centres if needed, but then Bundy Aki's covering 12 and other players like Ringrose can move around. So plenty of moving around available, lots of adaptability in that back line. So I think it's a really good team. Is it a bit disrupted? Yes. Might they be a little disjointed? Possibly, but I think it's going to be incredibly motivated, incredibly strong. And of course, they're the only team that can get that Grand Slam. And I think they're going to get the win here. But I do hope Wales put up a really good performance. And I also hope Wales score a try fairly early on to really ignite this game. But anyway, let me know what you think of those changes. Quite a lot in there. Love to know your thoughts as always. Do subscribe if not already. That would be amazing. And I'll catch you next time.